Anyone out there who wants to do anything, just do it. So who cares what anyone says?
It's the craziest thing I've ever had to do, like the most out of my comfort zone I've ever been. Even in like the training when you've got to spar girls and stuff like that, like I'd be fighting girls that have been doing it for 2 years, and I'd spend like days losing, you know, and it gets really tricky when you have to keep turning up to something and keep losing. But I kept watching, you know, motivational videos, listening to podcasts, and a lot of them would say like, you can never win anything without a failure. Every great person who's ever succeeded at everything has almost guaranteed to have a lot of failures. So,
well, it's not failure, it's feedback, you know.
Yeah, you either win or you learn. That's my new saying. And every time I lost at sparring, I wasn't losing, I was learning. And it took a lot to walk back into the gym after having thrown my head guard off and cried in front of everyone a couple of times. But I still got up every day and I went back in and it paid off.
And talk to me about your mental preparation over your physical preparation. You know, I mean, did you have any mentors, any people you'd work with on a mental perspective to try and?
Yeah, I mean, I actually worked with a couple of like life coaches, one called Antonia, so she does sort of Reiki healing and sort of thing like that, and she would try and make sure I'm all balanced and my chakras are balanced, because I do believe in all of that sort of thing. But for me, mentally, I had to push myself. I've got like a lot of rituals I do, but I step them up for the fight. So I got a new alarm clock, which meant it went off at 6:30, and the only way to turn it off was to do 4 maths questions. So yeah, and I thought it was brilliant, because you think,
just be thrown out the fucking window.
That's what I mean. You think, I'm just going to turn it off. I'm going to do them and I'm going to turn it off. But by the time you've done them, you think, I'm just going to get up. I would write my gratitudes every day. I would write my goals, and I'm always one to meditate or do yoga. I think in life it's essential to have some sort of spiritual practice.
Have these always been a part of you though, or is this just more from the fight or over the last few years of starting to train?
Over the last few years, it's always been a part of me, but during certain times in my life, I'll step it up or I won't. So especially if I'm filming for a TV show, I find meditation absolutely essential, because you're living with so many people, there's so many energies around, and I'm an empath. I pick up a lot of other people's energy, so sometimes I just need to go away for 10 minutes and just close my eyes and just quieten everything out and just remember like the bigger picture, because sometimes when you are on these shows, you're in a bubble, you're not in the real world.
Knowing what you know now about the industry and about business, what would you have done differently, you know, coming out of Love Island back then?
I would have put 25% away from my taxes. I would have probably used the other 25, maybe 35 to play with, and then I would have invested the rest, 100%. And my life would be much easier than what it is now. But it's not, my life isn't as hard as other people say, for instance. But that's what I would have done. That's 100% what I would have done with my money.
And money aside, is there anything, you know, what kind of lessons do you think you've learned from future TV shows and just from being around, you know, if you were to mentor a new 21-year-old who's never, you know, he's never done anything, he's done a bit of modelling, he's coming to Love Island, he's about to walk out, if you were going to mentor him, what would he be doing with his life?
I'd say take every opportunity that you get and embrace every opportunity that you get, and don't take nothing for granted. Do everything that you can do, what you want to do, what is a good experience. Because at the end of the day, everybody knows in this game what I'm in this industry, it isn't going to last forever. If you haven't backed yourself with something that you know or you're good at, say like I back myself in my bread and butter, what my dad knew, what I knew. That's why I'm in the situation where I am now. I can still do that and I can still do that. Like, I think people need to invest the money into the bread and butter, what they used to do before the fame. That's what I think personally.
If you were to become an advisor or an agent to you know, the celebrities of tomorrow, okay, you've got 2 new Love Islanders sat in front of you. They've just walked out the island. They're complete newbies. They've had no taste of fame whatsoever, and they're about to set foot out of Mallorca or wherever it is with the 1 million followers. You've got to give them three pieces of advice for life, or three top tips for how to make a career from then on. What would you be saying?
Well, I'd always say again, like, always remember who you was and where you was when you started and how you walked in here. Never ever change that as a person, because it's not attractive, because as much as you go up, you go down. It doesn't always last. You're replaceable, yeah? I would definitely, make sure you have got the right business mind of what you want to do. You've got a plan. You don't just go into it and think, I'm going to do a few paid posts. You need to actually vision yourself in 5 years and go, what do you want to get out of going onto this show? Because there's got to be a reason for it. You can't just want 5 minutes of fame, because this is you. You could be amazing. Do you know what I mean? You can go into acting, presenting, music, whatever it is, or just be, the business side of it, get involved in other things, property, like use money wisely. I think that's the advice that I never got given at the beginning. So when I first come in and I was getting big money at a young age, I didn't really know what to do with it because I was never advised. Like, my mum and dad are not very strong around me in that area. Management didn't really care at the time. So if I had an older me, I'd go, right, this is what you do with your tax, this is what you do with VAT, and this is what you do with your money, and you put it into a property or something. So you've got that, regardless if it ends tomorrow, you're secure in yourself. And invest into other things. That would be the best advice I could give. And I would help with that because of what I've learned.
How were you with your money? Did you spend too much?
Terrible. I was good because it was a safety thing for me because I always worked in the city and whatever, and I always I rented and whatever, but it was like now, I wish I could go back and go, right, see the money I got then, I wish I put that down and I bought that first flat. Because back then it was so much cheaper than it is now, and things are just changing. But no one said that to me. It was money, yeah, Lauren, you've got this job, you've got that job. I was getting told what to do. An agent tells you what to do, you don't really decide. So I wish I kind of I don't actually really want to do that, but I'm going to do this. And it was making the right choices, because them jobs that I did make who Lauren Goodger is in the media today. When really that isn't me. They don't know me. But it's because who I was marketed to at the time. You can't ever get rid of it. So you have to come out really being strong, who you're going to be, and stick with that. Because I am me, but the media don't make me me. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Does that make sense?
No, completely.
Yeah.
Question, how do you turn reality TV into real earnings?
I mean, what I would say straight away, which is what I didn't do this to start off with, and I wish I'd done it earlier. So, obviously when you're filming in reality TV, it can be a little bit tiring, a little bit hard work. When you get out, the first thing you need to do is get a manager. That is the first thing that you need to do, because I thought, I don't need a manager. I don't have enough followers. They get you more posts and stuff, they get you more money. They also get you to events where there's a lot more faces. What you need to do is you need to climb the social ladder. Do you know what I mean? You need to be involved in that, because this is, when you get into the limelight, this is now your area in your life. So you need to go to as many events, show your face as much as you can, because you need to get your followers up. And ultimately, the more followers you got, the more engagements and stuff you've got, that's where you can kind of go, right, okay, so I've got this many people, interested in me, wanting to know what my next step is. My next step is going to be, I want to invest my money into such and such, and I'm going to promote it, and I'm going to, sell it to the public. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I would say. Get a manager.
No, but I like that answer as well, because I think what's really interesting to me is you've answered that question not specifically as if you were a reality TV person, but they are the general principles of how do you monetize in business in general. Anyway, you're getting your face seen by more people, you're networking, you're growing your brand, etc., etc. And for me, the influencers and the celebrities that fail are the ones that think that just because you are a celebrity, the rules of business do not apply to you.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And they very much do.
Yeah, 100%. So. I think it's like you said, it is with anything. You have to. You've still got a network and stuff. It doesn't matter whether you're famous or whether you're not famous, because if you don't network, you will get lost in the background, and 100%. You'll be that celebrity that people have forgot about. Do you know what I mean? So that's why when you get like a manager, when you get an agent, that's their job is to help you do that. Their job is to help you get recognised, help you get more money. So there's no downfall, is it really, when you get an agent?
If you had one single piece of advice to a young girl who wants to be a singer, and put her craft out there on YouTube, or to a guy who wants to be a personal trainer and put fitness advice out there on Instagram, but they're worried about any negative feedback. Yeah,
Never have regrets. Just do it.
Music. When I mention music, everyone laughs at me. I know I can sing. I'm not the best, but I know I can sing. I love it. And my dream was always to be a pop star or a model. And I'm not giving up on it. I'm still going to release another album. Lucky you've got iTunes and stuff, so there's no Top of the Pops and that anymore. But I will do it because I love it. But I'm not doing that for the money. I'm doing it because purely I want to do it, I enjoy it. And that's that. So anyone out there who wants to do anything, just do it. It's like you're in a room yourself, you're enjoying yourself. So who cares what anyone says? Not every day is someone going to say, you're never going to always get good comments. Never in a million years. Nobody's perfect.
And the only things you regret are the things you don't do.
Exactly. But in my industry, it's like there's so many people, you probably would agree with me, that are manufactured in a way that they come across all perfect and all that on telly, but behind the screens they're not like that because they're manufactured. People have tried to manufacture me in a way, but I'm like, no, I am what I am. I make mistakes, I'm not perfect, and I'd prefer to do that than be controlled to something I'm not.
How can they develop their personal brand and their character so that they've got a 15, 20, 25 year career?
That's the thing what I'm trying to do at the minute. Obviously, I'm in a bubble. I've been very lucky. Most people, I don't know, life expectancy on Towie is like 3 to 4 years. If that, it's probably not even 3 years. You know, I've been very lucky. I've been on there 7 years nearly, yeah. But I'm still trying to find something to give me longevity, you know. Don't get me wrong, I've got investments and stuff for later life or for a rainy day, but I need to get a business module. Like he's done very well with brand. He's got a brand called Humano, and he's doing very well with that, you know. He's got it into a lot of the main online stores and the big stores around the country, but even that in itself, it needs things like that can give you longevity, but even that to a point, you build up a brand to offload it, to sell it, and then someone else comes in and they'll take it off you for a nice lump sum, which you can go and take and invest elsewhere.
So tell me, you're at a party. It's 4 weeks before the next Love Island comes on, and you meet a couple of the guys and the girls who are going to be this year's Love Island contestants. Nobody knows who they are. What would your top 3 pieces of advice to them be of how they can come out the island and make a long-term sustainable career?
Well, one, I'd be aware that it's not going to last forever. You're in a bubble, you know. 2, to be smart with your money. You know, don't think it's going to last forever. You know, save. You have money set aside. You know, or really just enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, you still got to enjoy it, but just be vigilant that it's not going to last forever. You know, so stack that money. You know, be smart with your money. You know, because a lot of these people come on, they start living above their means, living to a certain lifestyle which they can't sustain. You know, so after a year, they're still living. It's why a lot of these reality stars, you can see a lot of footballers and stuff. Yeah, I know it's completely different. They're sportsmen, but a lot of sports people, not even just sports like footballers, but they live above their means. They don't put stuff away.
I mean, it's the same economics. Yeah.
So and all of a sudden it ends one day. They're still living at the same means if they're playing every week or if they're filming every week or whatever, and they go bankrupt. You know, this is what the third piece of advice would be to just stay humble. You know. Remember people on your way up, you know, because on your way down is a lot harder.